Roll call?
Ms.
Recording in progress.
Ms. Kenya,
Yes.
Ms. Coop,
Yes.
Ms. Pascarelli is late, Ms. Thomas.
Yes. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, adequate notice of this meeting was given in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act by forwarding a schedule of regular meetings of the Warren County Library Commission to the Warren County Clerk, the Star Ledger, Daily Record, and by posting a copy thereof on the bulletin board in the office of the Board of County Commissioners and the office of the Warren County Clerk. Formal action may be taken by the Warren County Library Commissioners at this meeting. Public participation is encouraged. In order to assure full public participation, those individuals with disabilities who wish to attend the meeting should submit any requests for special accommodations 1 week in advance. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes of May 27th, 2025?
Motion.
I'll second that.
I'm sorry,
Any
who?
discussion?
I did, yes, sorry.
Any discussion? No?
Ms. Gerkart,
Yes.
Ms. Kenya,
Yes.
Ms. Coop,
Yes.
Ms. Pascarelli is not here, Ms. Thomas.
Yes. Okay, and can I have a motion to pay the bills in the amount of $130,450.25? I'll make a motion.
Second.
Discussion? Done?
Ms. Gerkart,
Yes.
Ms. Kenya,
Yes.
Ms. Coop,
Yes.
Ms. Thomas.
Yes. And communications from commission. I just wanted to remind everybody that this is the last meeting for the summer, so the next meeting will be September. And it is on the agenda. Any public comments on agenda items only? Public comments on agenda items only? Okay, not seeing any? Move on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mary Ellen.
Yes. There was another communication from the commission, I'm sorry.
So, I know that if I asked you to do E-rate funding, that you would run out the door like you were on fire. And I promise I won't do that. But I did look into the E-rate funding program, and there was grant money that we were able to get through our IT department. So I called Jason Sarnowski, I informed him of what they needed to do and how much, when it needed, the deadline needed to be, so it was coming back in the spring. So I just want to give you an update. So he did direct that over to Robert Seide, our IT person, and he did apply for this E-rate funding, which we were eligible for. For 2025 E-rate application, it was initially approved. It's now in DC for final approval. So the application is going to save us almost $5,000 annually on our Brightspeed internet access bill. So the savings will begin July 1st, and it'll run through June of next year. So it's really nothing that should put anything more on your plate.
Right.
So I know
in the future, though, I think it does need to go before the commission as a resolution,
What the,
applying for the E-rate,
okay.
just to follow.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's many more, there's a lot more funding that's available through the IT department. And I did make a copy of it for you. I'll give that to you later.
Sure.
So there's a whole list of stuff that we should be getting grant money for. It's, it's been around a long time and no one's ever applied for it. And for you to do that, it would be a tremendous amount of paperwork.
Right.
I know that. So, but for the IT department, it's just a matter of filling out the application and plugging in some data for them, which shouldn't be a problem. So anyway, you should be, I know it's not a lot of money, but $5,000 is better than nothing. So, just so you know that that should be coming.
And then we'll go back to the public comments on agenda. Since there was something else brought up.
When we get that resolution.
Well, they already did it.
Oh. I was gonna say.
She went ahead on her own and did it.
Just in time for the
I was gonna say, I'm not having a meeting before September.
All right, so,
Yeah,
Nothing more to report, working on the draft. We'll be conferring next with our attorney, Jill, again. The other member of.
Yeah, I don't think you heard that. I barely
I'm
heard
sorry.
either. We were just making a comment about the bylaws, that they're still in review. Sorry that I was just.
Thank you.
and we just have to speak, everybody's got to speak up because of the fans now, so just FYI. All right, so everybody got that the bylaws, the status is kind of standing still right now, but we're still moving forward, it's just don't have a meeting.
There were no public comments agenda.
Any new business? New business? Anyone? Resolutions. And the library director's report.
All right. Last Monday, we kicked off our summer reading program, Color Our World. And that first week, we handed out more than 1,300 of the reading logs. Kind of as we thought, feedback about having the paper log has been very positive. Yeah. And I actually spoke with 3 other library directors who also went back to paper. So I think that's actually the trend, although it seems somewhat backwards in today's age. But I think a lot of the libraries are using a simple paper form. Last week, we had 3 of our branches with their kickoff parties. So they had like face painters, cotton candy machine, sidewalk chalk. This location, they had like a little dance party with something up on the screen so the kids could dance to it. At Northeast, they told me that they had 190 people show up during that 2-hour party. And at the Catherine Dixon Hoffman branch, we actually ran out of parking. Yeah, people had to park on the grass. We were pleasantly surprised. Going forward, we're going to keep an eye on that because they also parked in the driveway. So we have some ideas for how, when there's a large crowd that we're anticipating, make sure they're not blocking the driveway at all. The final party is at our Southwest branch tomorrow. Part of it's going to be a bubble show. The bubble guy's coming, and he does like bouncing bubbles with the kids, smoke in the bubbles. And I think his grand finale is he actually puts a kid in a bubble. He picks somebody out of the audience and they get to be in the bubble. So I'm sure they're going to I think both sessions for the bubble guy are already full. This Saturday, probably as you all know, the county's holding their bicentennial celebration at the community college. Courtney Butrimowitz, she's our newly hired Librarian 1 staff member. She was a library assistant, so she's been with us a while, but completed her master's, and we were able to fill the librarian position. She's going to be at the event representing the library. She's put together a county trivia contest for people to do, some then and now photos, kind of comparing different locales in the county, what it looked like years and years ago, what it looks like now. And then she'll have our usual informational brochures and flyers to hand out about the library and some of our freebie giveaways. She's very motivated and is hoping to register some new patrons at the same time. So she's got her laptop in a hotspot, and I told her, see how busy it is. If it's super busy, refer them to our website. They can register online, but if she has some slow time, downtime, go right ahead and register people. I heard from Jen Nelson, the New Jersey State Librarian. She had good news that New Jersey is one of the states that's going to receive their full allotment for the IMLS grants to the states for 2025. New Jersey's Attorney General joined the lawsuit, I think, with 20 other states, trying to stop the dismantling of the IMLS, and those states are receiving their full allotment. She said they're still working towards contingency plans for 2026 because they don't know what the funding will be. So it's not like they're just going to say, great, we're good to go. They're going to keep planning, see what the priorities are, work on what could potentially be reduced, maybe eliminated in the future. We also heard from the state library that they're renewing access for the Jersey Clicks databases for another 3 months. So we're going to have through September 30th at least access to those databases that they provide to us free of cost. And those are some of them, like Heritage Quest, a genealogy database, Data Axle, it's a business research database, the Peterson's test prep database. So they're waiting at the New Jersey State Library to see what this happens with the state budget. Once they know what the state budget is, they'll then let us know if they're going to fully renew some of these databases for a complete year, or if maybe they have to drop some. And then I wanted to congratulate a couple of our staff members who are going to be retiring this summer. Lorraine Bloom has been with us for 17 years at our Northeast branch. She's our customer service guru over there. She knows everybody in the Hackettstown area. So when they walk in, she knows them by name. So we're really going to miss that. Meryl will be leaving us. She's been here for 8 years. She and Amy have worked very hard to make things a lot more efficient in the office area. It used to be 3 full-time staff members in there. They got it down to 2 full-time staff members. And today was our last day for our information technology staff member. So we do not have anybody on staff for that. The county at this point does not think they're going to rehire for that position. We'll make use of the county IT department going forward. Certainly wish all of them very well in the future. We're going to miss them. Sweet.
I have a question. The databases from the state library, do we use them much?
Some of them are used a lot more than others.
By staff or by people?
Both. She was asking
The
about.
question was about the, in Jill's report, the New Jersey State Library databases. She just gave the report. I asked, that we'll have them through September, and I asked Jill, are they useful? Just curious.
We have ones like the literary, I think it's called Literary Reference Center, Points of View, and the Regional Business News, which sometimes surprises me. Those are very heavily used. Then we have others, not so much, might be a little too specific at times. The master file ones, it's a kind of a conglomerate of a bunch of them. So that's certainly, I think, for the staff, one of their favorites to use, but it varies.
Jill, I was just wondering if those security issues at the Blairstown branch were resolved in terms of patrons being able to exit the front?
No.
No, okay.
We've submitted 3 times now a list of what still needs to be done there. So
And who's responsible for?
That is falling under county IT, that part of it. Buildings and Grounds has a couple of things. They were in last week installing some of the TV monitors.
Okay.
But we're still waiting on a list of, I'm going to say maybe like 10 items that need to be handled. Sure.
I just wanted to thank Meryl for her service. I mean, we've worked together on and off for the last couple of years since I've been on the commission. So thank you. And then also, I just wanted to mention that Lorraine I first met when I was working in our school district.
Oh,
My school district, when she came up and did the, introduced what was the summer reading program.
Sure.
So she was
Yep.
really good. And
Yeah.
Just really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Working with her. So she will be missed.
Definitely.
We are down to closing public comments.
Quick question about the grants that we spoke about. Hold on 1 second. I was wondering why we weren't using this. Okay. Are the grants that we talked about, are they to be
Could you just state your name?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Got my name.
That's
Susan Martel. I'll write it in
Your name and town.
here. Okay. The grants that you were speaking about, are they directed to be using the money in a specific area, or can they be used in general?
It's money that's, like, say you put internet wiring in and it cost you so much money, they'll give you part of that money back.
Okay,
So everything that you do, whether it's infrastructure, wiring, internet service, there's a government program called E-rate funding. And
is it all IT related?
No.
Everything?
No.
Because they're fundraising downstairs for a cart or 2 carts. I think it's absolutely ridiculous that we can't afford a cart when we just approved spending for $140,000 for things. And if there's grant money available, maybe there's grant money for a cart.
it's not, it doesn't work like that. It's a very complex program, and it's basically giving you reimbursement for money that you're putting out for different.
So if we buy the cart, can we get a grant for the cart?
No, it's only certain things that fall under that criteria, like. To show you. Cabling, firewall services, routers, switches.
All IT.
This is the IT one. I'm not familiar with the one that Jill would have to do. It would literally take someone full-time just to fill out those applications. It's extremely complex. It's digging for information, but it's like on infrastructure.
Okay.
I don't know what else. I've never done that end of it, but yeah, it's not like you can say, oh, we need a cart, or oh, we need a new rack for the books. It doesn't. It's not that type of funding.
Okay. Well,
Unfortunately.
according to the OBRA request I did, the attorney's fees from the beginning of the year to June 1st are $12,000. And I don't see the value of him sitting here with just air. So if we need a cart and we're paying all this money for an attorney, it doesn't equal out to me. These workers need a reliable cart in a library, but we're paying $12,000 for an attorney, and that's just till June 1st, so I'm sure there's more to be paid. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public?
Judy McDonald, Liberty Township. I just, I don't know who to direct it to regarding the Freedom to Read Act. Does this law also protect the Library Commission and also the county? I just wondered about that. I know it offers protection to the librarians and staff, but maybe we need to know if it protects the commission and the county itself.
Mr. Bell, does it cover the commission too?
It's really written for the librarians and the people, the staff that work at the library, not as much any type of governing body. I mean, maybe by extension, you could look at the county as being protected, but it doesn't directly speak to that point. Although at the same time, if the the decision makers are. It depends, I guess, where the decision makers are to determine what level of protection that would afford anybody.
Thank you.
And then do we pay an annual membership fee? I think I've asked this before, to the ALA and the NJLA. I think I have asked it, I can't find it in my notes. I just wonder what the annual amount is.
There's
And-
no fee for the ALA, and the NJLA is only for the trustee, well, there's trustee memberships.
Okay. Do we have an amount for?
About $150 for all of them.
Are there
And it
any other
provides
fees
free
paid?
training.
Training, that includes the training, so there's nothing else aside from that that's paid to
No.
them? Okay, and just a comment, I guess, about the ALA, and the policy, so their policies are not law, and maybe I'm mistaken about that, but as far as I know, they're not law, and the ALA is an NGO, and I would question, why does a county agency, the library here, yield so much authority to this organization? And I just thought, to maintain our freedom within the county, we should not be bound by the rules set by an NGO, and they're not elected. And I just think the county has the right to override the rules there, or find another organization, maybe like the World Library Association. It just seems that the library really is governed by all of their policy, and it's not law, it's policy. Thank you.
Jill, can I just ask a question? I noticed on the bills that there was a membership renewal for the American Library Association in the amount of $247. Is that a yearly amount?
I know last year when we looked, it was only for Marines membership.
Last year.
Yeah, and
It was
there's,
actually from August 7th, 2024. But I'm just wondering if that 247 is it paid every year? Like, will it come up in August again?
Not if it was for Maureen's membership.
no.
Not if
She's
it was from- sorry.
Maureen, our former director,
Right.
yeah, she put her membership through the library.
Okay.
It was more of it's kind of
Like a
like
professional.
as a director, she can do an institutional membership,
Okay.
but it was
Hi.
her name.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Monica Scott. Just listening to that question, I was just a little confused because all organizations have a professional organization that they, become a part of so that there's networking and standards. So just like you would expect your dentist to be part of a network of dentists, you would expect your doctors, you would expect your accountant, you would expect your library. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just like the network, that is why you're here
Could you
asking
state
these
your name and
questions.
town, please?
Caitlin McShane, Blairstown. These organizations that keep people networking are why you're here networking. And I think the fundamental issue and the reason that there's an attorney here is because, am I wrong, we're arguing First Amendment rights? My First Amendment rights,
It has been brought up in the past, yes.
but that's what's the root of these issues with these meetings. And the problem with hiding books is that it costs taxpayers money if anyone sues over their First Amendment right, or us asking a lawyer questions over things that we figured out probably 100 years ago. That's it.
Thank you.
Ellen Schiller, Blairstown.
Louder, please.
Ellen Schiller, Blairstown. I'm very glad that the Blairstown Library is open again, and it looks like a lot of people are using it. It was closed, as you know, for over a year and a half, so we were just glad that it's back open. the style is not the style that I would have done, but I'm not the architect. My question is, it seems that the final cost for the library was quite expensive. May I ask, when the bid went out, how was the architect or the plan chosen? Was it in terms of the cost? So were they looking for a lower cost to pass on to the residents of the county, or how did that work?
You'd have to speak to the county administration commissioners.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, okay.
We weren't involved in that
Okay.
process.
All right, thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Pamela Key from Independence. I just moved to Warren County about 3 years ago. It's a beautiful community. I'm an avid library user. I'm very interested in the issue of the freedom to read and exactly what books are and aren't going to be allowed in the library. I've heard that outside groups, rather than a vetted library association, can make recommendations about what books are or aren't kept in our library. And I just feel that this could be very much of a problem. I hope it's not true, because I believe that libraries are a great community resource as repositories of knowledge and great places for children to immerse themselves in storytelling, to open their imaginations. There's also a civic duty to a library being the custodian of records, teaching people of all ages to use technology, helping people to fill out government or work-related forms, and generally being supportive of their community. It's important that the material selection for a library's collection be curated by a library professional who knows how to balance the available publications to the needs and makeup of their community. It seems unfair to allow one group or one group's opinion to manage availability the entire community. So I do hope that all of our information is being vetted by professional librarians. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, seeing no more. Oh.
As you've all heard, I'm retiring in a few weeks. So this is my last meeting. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Meryl. I've been working at the library for about 8 years, lived in Warren County for over 40. I've remained quiet for a long time. So now I'm going to take about 5 minutes of your time to speak as a Warren County public citizen. The oath taken by the Warren County Library Commission, each member, I do solemnly swear that I support the Constitution of the United States, State of New Jersey, and in this state, under the authority of the people. And that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all duties of the office. So help me God. You've all raised your hand. So help me God. It was said that these people that sit here right now were chosen because they have conservative Christian values, the same political views, or the political favors or debts that are being paid. I heard it myself by the person that implanted each one of you. Apparently, this is what is required to be on this board now. How does that fit into justly or impartially? And is this implying that the remaining Christians are not true Christians, not valued Christians because they might have different views or opinions? A true Christian is honorable, They accept all kinds of people, all religions, races, creeds. They love all mankind, which would include different religions, different races, biracial, interracial, LGBTQ community people, whether you like it or not, whether you accept it or not, it's a part of the world. Respect is earned, not given. A number of people present have not earned with respect, they just expect respect. No one here will get the respect due to the way they were implanted in this group. Pathetically underhanded ways were needed to get your way because you knew there was no other way. You will never get the respect that the previous commission members received because they earned it over many, many years of hard work and dedication. Those trusted, respected members that have given of themselves selflessly to represent this library without expecting anything in return felt forced to resign because they saw what was happening and what had already happened to a previous commission member. The current members don't think they need to acknowledge the public majority. The public members that feel it is important enough to show up to voice their feelings. The public members that are offended that you want to remove their right to parent their own children. Narcissistic members take no consideration of anyone else's opinions, even if it is the majority of the public that supports something, not if it's against your choice. In most cases, there is not even a discussion that would indicate they would even consider someone else's view. So how does that mesh with under the authority of the people, as you have sworn to in your oath? This is the least impartial and most unjustly created group imaginable. Our staff are highly educated, highly ethical, and hardworking professionals with many, many years of experience. These facts are ignored because some narcissists think they are better qualified to decide. They think that they are the only ones that are correct. I'm sorry, I'm gonna finish.
Well, I'm sorry, that's 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Just because
Yeah,
you
but you
don't
can't,
like.
Meryl, you can't go over the time. I mean, like,
Okay, well,
do you do the discipline or is this? Is that-
I knew she.
Say one more
is that-
thing.
Is that your?
This is horrible. Like, what's happened? This all started with books
Censorship.
that were found with explicit sexual content. I don't know if anybody's seen these books, but
Have you?
yes, I have.
Wait.
God,
Like,
no back
hold
and
on,
forth.
the only one who's speaking is the
Oh,
speaker,
that's
like
right,
the,
and let's speak to them.
yeah.
So
By the way, all the comments are addressed to the commission generally, that we can't have the audience speaking to, we can't have you speaking to the audience. Thank you.
I have seen the books, and that's what started all of this. And along the way, things did get mixed up and turned around, and they were accused of taking books off the shelves and censorship and banning books. And that's not what it was about. I've never seen books like this in my life, and we brought this to the commission and tried to find a way, maybe there was something, we just wanted to address it and have a conversation and try and see. So anyway, I think everyone needs to do some research about the books, and I say sexually explicit books in general in the children's section, and make your own mind up. I've seen them and I know how I feel about it. And thank you.
Thank you.
Scott, I was a retired librarian, 40 years in the library, and if not the library, the curator of books, where do books belong? Nobody puts a gun to your head and tells you, you and your children must read this book. But the same thing, you cannot stop other people from what they decide to read. This is America, and America is about choice. It's not about other people putting their values on you, specifically when we're talking about everyone's tax dollars, not just yours. So, once again, thank you so much for being courageous in saying that. I have said before, it's crazy to me when I came up here and said that question about the LAA didn't make sense to me, but it also did not make sense to me that once again, we have a commission that did not know to answer that yes, you do need to be part of a professional group of people. It's just ridiculous that I have to keep coming up here and saying I had that conversation with Commissioner Sanowski, who said that he handpicked you people because 15,000 people keep putting him in office because of his conservative views. And I had to remind him that there are other people in Warren County that also should matter. Thank you.
Before the next comment, I just want to remind the commission that generally you're able to grant an exception, but usually people are limited to one comment.
For public comment.
Session.
Exactly.
So they could speak in the first session.
Yes.
And in the second.
Yep.
Correct.
Hi, I'm Shelley Harvey. I am from Friedenheisen Township. And I do want to address some of the things I didn't plan on speaking tonight. But a lot of us are parents. And think about the choices that you made when explaining the birds and bees to your children. Some of you may have chosen to tell them a very nice story about how birds get together. It may be boy birds like girl birds, and so they get together in a loving relationship and they have a baby. Others may have chosen at a very early age to actually
And you can't speak to the public.
Okay. Yeah, let's speak to you guys. You ladies, sorry, Jersey thing. Some of you may have chosen to use very specific terms, biological terms for organs, sexual organs. We all make these choices when training or educating our children. Some of the books that people consider sexually explicit, other people consider manuals for teaching their children. Whether or not you think that's appropriate for your child, that's your right. It's not your right to tell me what's appropriate for my child. And I am going to end with the quote from Article 2 of the New Jersey Library, the Warren County Library Commission shall serve, library services are planned in accordance with the identified needs of the residents and are provided equally and without discrimination to all qualified patrons who adhere to the library policies. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm going to speak today because I will not be able to speak at the next meeting because I will be celebrating Rosh Hashanah.
What is your name, ma'am?
Judy Frager.
Thank you.
It's context also. I am a board certified teacher, recently retired, with straight 4s in my reviews for I don't know how long. I also am certified as a reading specialist by the Dyslexia Association. So I know a little bit about reading. But I just want to talk about coming here today. While I was coming here today, I cruised by Johnny's Hot Dog. And then I went into Buttsville and made a left on Titman. That could be considered something really disgusting, but it was just the directions that I came here with. From Johnny's Hot Dog to Buttsville to Titman. If you're going to look at books and you're going to look at sections of the books, you're not going to get the whole picture of what those books are about. If you look at a book in terms of your own child instead of somebody else's child. You're not going to get the context of what that was about. And children require so many different things. I am telling you as a special ed teacher, I'm telling you that each child, each family need a variety of materials. And just picking and choosing that materials is not the way to go. You need to have an opportunity to address multitudes of people. As far as the idea of never having seen a book like that, I am so sorry. I wish you did, because then you wouldn't be so appalled. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public?
My name is Don from White Township. I've been coming to these meetings quite regularly, and I hear these people talk about these books all the time. Maybe we should, I don't have to direct it to you, since we have this so-called high-paid attorney here, let's ask him to the provision or law in New Jersey that talks about obscene material available to children, number one. Number two, I'd be more than happy to come up here and read some of this material. Maybe these people haven't read it. I haven't read it myself, but I know they're out there. And I'd be more than happy to come up here and read it. I keep hearing about how qualified people are, how many teachers are here, how many librarians are here. I find books on a discard rack. I'm a taxpayer. I lived in this county 40 years. And I've been sitting back there with my mouth shut for quite a while. I find books on a discard rack. I've asked a question about who authorizes a book to be thrown away. I was told it depends how often it's taken out. There was a fellow here a few weeks back talking about, oh, they're doing away with history. I have 2 history books back there. Battle for New Jersey and the Founding of the Nation. On the discard rack at Warren County Library. Amongst other children's book I took home for the granddaughter. I still never got an answer. Who authorizes those books to be thrown away? They're paid for with our money. That's what they're paid for. Like I said, that's all I'm going to say now. I'll be more than happy to read some of this material, and I hope we get 100 people in here to hear it. Listen to that. I never heard once of a book being banned. I never heard once of a book being censored. I only heard put them in a safe spot. That's all I've heard. I never heard anything about banning books. People keep coming to these meetings. One of you have yet tonight talking about banning books. I've been coming quite regularly to these meetings, and some of you, I know when I first started coming, there was 2 or 3 people here. Now there's a lot of people here because of this issue.
You have to address that.
And I appreciate it. That's good. Everybody has a right to say what they have to say. I agree with that. But let's find out about some kind of law about obscene material available to children. If there's a children's section here that has it in there, let's find out if it's supposed to be there or not. That's all. Maybe they want to put up one shelf higher. I don't know. I agree. Parents should know what's going on with the children. I remember a while they talked about First Amendment. People were raising Cain about they were going to post something for a website for people to look at to see what kind of material really about these books. I forgot what it was. And a lot of people didn't agree that it was the greatest website to look at. Maybe not. But it seems to me their First Amendment was being violated because they didn't want the thing posted. I want every resource available for me to look at, whether I decide my kid's looking at that or not. And what's available to me to look at. And then maybe I look further. Hey, wait, this don't sound. Let me look a little further. Let me do a little more research on it. But that's all I have to say. Everybody have a good night and keep cool. And the other thing is, while I'm up here, you guys need to get a microphone system up here because you can't hear even when there's a regular meeting.
Yes. Thank you.
Teresa Esposito Jackson, Washington Township. There's a lot being brought up to today's meeting, probably because we're not meeting again for 2 months. There's a lot of misinformation that's going on around as well. First, they're not discarded books. Those books end up going to be part of the sale for the Friends of the Library. As a Friends of the Library member, we sell them at a discounted rate. And then that money goes right back into the library through programs, through prizes, for summer reading, for all these other events, for buying carts. that the staff needs. That's why the Friends is here. And everyone here who is looking to get involved in your Friends group. You get a lot of information from that Friends group. As somebody who attends every meeting, who's the secretary of the Friends, we get a lot of information. Okay, so I just wanted to clarify that as well. It's not being discarded. It is going to be sold, and that money goes right back into the library. But speaking of fiscal concerns, as what was brought up through the Oprah records, is that the lawyer at this point, up until I believe June 1st, has been paid $12,835.50. For the years 2023 and 2024 combined, a lawyer was paid $7,644.63. That was 2 years combined, and already this year, 6 months in, it has surpassed that. And looking at those Oprah accounts, there are a lot of concerns as to what his expertise is being used for. There were notes about meeting policies, the format of a meeting, procedures for public meeting, correspondence, and I know there's been debate over correspondence and what that meant. Previous to this commission, correspondence was if someone wrote into the library, their letter would be acknowledged and possibly read for the people who were at the meeting to hear, to give them a voice if they could not be present. And then when this new commission came in, that kind of disappeared. And then it was argued what that meant. And as we took it, is that that's silencing the community. That's not acknowledging the community, especially people who cannot be present. And that is not what this should be. You're here to represent us and be a liaison between the public and the county commission. And when we brought this up last time, you said, well, if you have a problem with it, you should go to the county commission. I agreed with that. We should be going to the county commission if there's something we have a problem with. But also, this is part of your job. So I hope after last meeting, you did let the county commission, you did let Mr. Sarnowski know that the majority of the public doesn't see a need for the lawyer being present and being used this much, especially because that money comes out of the library budget. Okay, the county's not paying for him to be here. The library budget is what's paying for him to be here. And when we have to fundraise as a Friends group to replace rickety carts when we have members who cannot push them, like that is ridiculous. When we have, again, some of the lowest paying staff in the state. I'm friends with a ton through my profession, through social circles with librarians across the state, and they live locally. They live in Warren County, and it would have been so much easier for them to work in Warren County. These are librarians, and they purposely chose to go to Hunterdon County, Sussex County, and they've said because of pay and because of headaches, because they don't feel like there's a supportive commission member or a supportive commission to help them do the job the way it should be done. So this is really, really upsetting that we have qualified people who live right here, who live in Belvedere, who live in Hackettstown, who are going to other counties because of pay and because of an unsupportive commission. That like we're driving away talent and when we need to be hiring. We've talked about this for state funding. Another part of state funding, because again, I did my due diligence, is that the county commission has to do training every year. And I hope you've done so. And it's supposed to make it so that you are informed about library issues and that you are informed about running a commission. But seeing the Oprah accounts, it seems like you aren't because you're asking him questions about every tiny little thing and wasting taxpayer money.
Thank you.
Kelly Nemeke, Wade Township. I want to start off by thanking the Richard D. Gardner branch for an awesome kickoff to summer reading. We had a blast. I did not expect to be here for over 3 hours, but we were having such a good time. We both made little paintings and my son danced for 50 minutes straight probably, and it was great. So thank you very much. It was a lot of hard work, and thank you. Last month, I spoke about thanking the staff here at headquarters for all of their hard work with the transition to Maine, and after the meeting driving home, I realized I didn't thank Jill as the director. I just kind of wanted to shout out, I can't imagine how hard it is to step into a directorship amidst a new branch opening and amidst
the shifting to Maine, and then summer reading. So thank you for steering the ship, and just appreciate that. That was going to be my whole comment, but because of other comments, you know, I don't really want to relive my trauma, but I have my statement from 2 months ago here, and I've read the book, several of the books that were questioned a few years ago, and, you know, we are finding out what they were. I've read them in their entirety, the sex ed books, which they're sex ed books. They're nonfiction, factual items. They're not explicit material. They are shelved in YA, which is meant for 12 to 18-year-olds. If a child is trying to find the Hungry Caterpillar, they are not going to stumble across Let's Talk About It. They're just not going to. Maybe I can't even imagine how they'd get there. It's in a different section of the library. And if they are, you know, little, they need to have their adult with them. That is library policy. So if they do find it, their adults should be right there and say, oh, yeah, that one goes here. You know, like, I don't know how that would happen. I'm just going to summarize my thing from 2 months ago because I feel I need to again. But my experience of being sexually assaulted started when I was 10 in 4th grade. It continued into 5th grade, and I did not have access to materials like Let's Talk About It. We didn't talk about it in my family. That was one thing we didn't talk about. We talked about drugs, we talked about parties, we talked about truth or dare, getting down pants, things like that. We didn't talk about sex. I didn't know. I didn't know any of it was wrong. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to find help. And I didn't. And that led to me being in a vulnerable position by the time I was a senior in high school where I was raped. I did not know. I did not have those materials. Materials that were shelved currently in 12 to 18-year-old section of the library. Some of them are even in adult sections in different branches. I don't know if you all knew that. They're shelved in an area for kids older than I was when that started for me. So these books need to be available. If you don't want your kid reading it, you don't have to. But they need to be available. This stuff happens, and this happened right here in Warren County. Thank you.
I will keep this brief because it's hot in here. Hi, I'm Sandy. You guys know me. I'm from Blairstown. And I am very excited to be heading off to the American Library Association conference on Friday, where I will be presenting. So going to be a good time hanging out with my library friends. So I've spoken here before, and I just wanted to reiterate, since we're all going to take a couple months for summer, hopefully to get some rest and restoration and relaxation and have some time to reflect. I know I will be. I'm very lucky. I've gotten to work as a scientist. I have worked as an educator for well over 15 years now, here at the library, at Pope John, for homeschoolers, and now I get to work for a national nonprofit where we promote the public's understanding of science, and I get to work with educators across the world. So I feel very, very blessed, and I feel very blessed by this library. It's been such an important part of my family's life for over 20 years living here, which is why I was attending the meeting many, many months, years ago now, where the issues about some of the books in the library came up. Because I'm a scientist and an educator and a communicator, evidence matters to me. It's really important to me. And I don't think that we should be making decisions just on vibes or feelings or what I think is right or what somebody else here thinks is right or, you know, what you find offensive or somebody else finds offensive, because we all find different things offensive. I happen to be anti-war, so I didn't want my kids reading books about violence. They did that with their grandpa. He loved to tell war stories. I have not yet heard any actual evidence about the books being presented harming children. They are sexual education books. You can choose to use them or not. As we heard people say, they've been useful. And sadly, my mother's story was very similar to some of the ones that have been shared here. There was no one to educate her about sex.
she learned at the library so she didn't end up like her older sister, pregnant at 16 and sent off to have a baby that she never saw again. These books matter. And I know that they may be distasteful to some. And I know that you may choose not to share them with your family. That's fine. That is your choice. We're Americans and we have that choice. That is our God-given right. But you don't get to choose for others. Again, I follow evidence. You know, we had Zuckerman here, over a year ago now. He's a First Amendment scholar. He has worked with libraries, hundreds of libraries. He trained our own staff on First Amendment issues. And people got to ask a lot of great questions about what is censorship, what is banning, what are we allowed to do, what are we not allowed to do. I learned a tremendous amount, and I live with a lawyer who studied constitutional history. And what he expressed is that, yes, moving a book to a higher shelf so somebody can't access it can be considered banning and censorship. That we have Supreme Court decisions that guide these practices and policies in libraries. And that, yes, the American Library Association helps to interpret those very, very wordy, I've read them, Supreme Court decisions into common text so that the average person can understand it. But books aren't meant to be taken page by page. They're meant to be taken as full works. Their educational, historic, and cultural value matters for context. So I would just like us all, maybe over the summer, to do some reading, to do some learning, and to really reflect on what we want this library to be, what we want this community to be. Because trust has been broken. I've brought this up before. And I'm not seeing that addressed. I hope that we take the summer to do so. Thank you so much for all your work. Thank you for all your work.
Does anybody have any other comments for the? I don't know if I'm allowed to do this, but I feel moved and empowered to speak on just my behalf. I don't want to speak on the other commissioners. This is a volunteer position that I was excited and eager to embark on about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago now, and it's been a learning curve for me. I try to lead with respect and listen before I speak, because I think that's really, really important. I am also a school teacher. I teach kindergarten at White Township, and my goal is to empower children. I come to this library and get stacks of books every week and share and share and share. So I guess my question to Jill is, have any books been moved, reshelved, or eliminated out of this library?
No.
Okay, so I just wanted to say that I know we keep bringing this up, and I think it's a really important issue, but I just want to remind everybody that nothing has changed. Yes, there are new members here, and sometimes change is a really hard thing, and people resist that a little bit, but no book, no magazine, nothing has ever been moved or eliminated or taken away, to my knowledge. And I apologize to all of you if you feel like your voices are not being heard, because I really would like to do that, and I want to be part of the solution. So I'm a little hurt because I try to lead with respect all the time, and these same things keep coming up, and I just want to remind everybody that no books have been eliminated or moved. And certainly not by any of the people up here on the commission.
Public comment is closed unless you want to allow it. Unless you want to allow it, it's closed.
Yeah,
It's your discretion.
yes.
Sarah Harehope. Just in response to your passionate comment, and in response to some others,
Sorry.
we really can't forget, and some of you are new to the commission and we're not in place us began attending these meetings en masse. And I don't think we can forget one very big reason that really stimulated a lot of concern, and that was when bookbooks.org was put on flyers around the libraries all over the county. And that was a website that was promoted across the country by a far-right group, Moms for Liberty, and it has now been taken down or merged with Moms for Liberty website, so it's no longer a resource out there for parents in the way that it was. But what I'm saying is that triggered a lot of concern on the part of the public, because it wasn't only just noting books that were, sexually explicit. It was also calling books of concern that were about history, like Black history and LGBTQ+, and all of that. So it was a website that promoted discriminating against certain types of books. And that's what got much of the public furious and started us attending these meetings, many of us. And then there were some other things that happened with the commission that I think Meryl, is it, pointed out, and I think that got us also quite upset. And I think we can't just, it's not about us all saying, oh, books are being censored left and right here. It's about a real concern that that website was put out there to the public, and it really is in the forefront of book banning across the country. Book banning across the country. So people have legitimate concerns about whether or not this commission had that in their minds, whether they really were going to be pushing for censorship once that website was put out there. So I just want to be clear, you really should be clear on the history of why the public has become activated and what our concerns are. And I think there is a concern of people being appointed to this board with certain political, by our commissioner, who has publicly stated, as Monica Scott said, publicly stated that he's out there to serve the people who voted for him. So we want to know that you're going to be serving the entire community and not just people that are aligned with your political views or, Christianity and all of that. So there's a real reason why the public has become activated, and it's not just because, we see a few books here or there put on another shelf.
Okay, that closes public comment then. So I'm going to adjourn the meeting at this time.
You usually just put that on the record, but
Meeting adjourned at 6:38. Thank you all for coming and your comments.
I'll clean up, Meryl, just go home.
Think we shut down?
Just shut the door. Okay. Yep. God.